It seems weird that the president and vice president are targeting Harry Sisson on social media specifically, right? He's just some young kid influencer on TikTok. But there's a very good reason they're doing it. They're terrified of young people, young white men specifically, listening to people like him, being inspired by people like him, realizing they can start asking questions and get involved. Because their whole plan revolves around using young white men as fodder on front lines, on farms, in factories. J.D. Vance sold his soul to the tech billionaire elites like Peter Thiel. The whole radical right plan is to gut every program that could make life fair and that could make your life easier, just so the billionaire elites don't have to pay for it. And to get away with it, they're trying to trick young people into believing old, fake Christian gender role stereotypes. So when your life gets even harder and you can't get by no matter how hard you work, you don't blame the rich elites. You blame young men whose mental and emotional health will continue to decline. Some will hurt themselves, some will hurt others. Corporations did the same thing a few years ago, blaming you for your carbon footprint when they're the ones mass polluting. They want young people to be poor, and they want young men to feel responsible. They want everyone to hold young men responsible. That's what they had Charlie Kirk doing. That's what he was paid to do. Those were his central talking points. Being a role model for young white men, telling them not to get educated so they could get better jobs, but to stay poor and working class, not building their own wealth. And if their lives weren't good enough, if they weren't happy about it, to go to church. But be rational. Prayers are not a substitute for policy. And the radical right regime is terrified of a youth bloc that gets informed, that gets educated, that gets involved, and knows who's really responsible. Last decade, my generation of women had girl boss feminism, inspiring us to succeed and achieve. They tried to erode that too. Now the time has come that boys need that as well. Where is your boy boss gender equality? I want you to aspire for education, for good jobs, to work hard, and if that's not rewarded, hold the people with power and money responsible. You can be capable. You can be curious. You can ask questions. You can be more than a pawn in a factory or on a battlefield. And any young white men influencers who can be role models in that are going to be their number one target. I have no particular interest in Harry Sisson. I don't really watch him. I don't know much about him. Because I know he's not for me. But the radical right elites know who he's for. And they don't want you to have him. Ask yourselves why, and maybe check him out.